Morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you for calling me today. See, I dressed up also for you.
Your voice is coming broken. Your internet is fine. Your video clarity is fine, absolutely fine, but your audio is coming.
Just give me a second. I guess. Is it better now? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Better? Okay. I was saying good morning and thank you for calling me. See, I dressed up also for you.
So nice of you. So nice of you. And we have more than 25 guys joined us, and then they are all happy and interested to understand what happens in naval aviation. And as co-mates, normally, how do we interact with each other? So that is what our main agenda will be for say in today's case. All right, we just go on and uh, just have a session wherein like we'll be able to share our ideas and views about SSB per se. And you have a special credit again because joined as a naval officer, the naval lady, now proud mom. Okay. So you can share on all those things, how you're able to manage or tackle all those things. So as I thought about, we can just keep on starting with it. So start with some of your background and how you got inspired. Okay, why I should join armed forces? Though your mother is a teacher by profession, but what has transpired you? How you got shifted?
So yeah, it's very funny. I was working. I've done BTech in Information Technology, and my schooling is from Kendriya Vidyalaya Air Force Station, Bareilly. It was an Air Force school, Kendriya Vidyalaya. So, you know, as kids, we always used to go for these air shows, and, you know, all these officers, AOCs used to come and visit us as VIPs and as dignitaries for all school functions. So that was my first affair, or whatever you say, my first tete-a-tete connect with the armed forces. And it was aviation only. So I was always, and we used to live in a place where the fighters used to fly over our heads all the time in the sky.
Okay.
So that was so, it used to look so cool, and we were so inspired. We were like, wow. And there was this one time a lady officer had come to our school for some event, and it was like, oh my god, they have girls also. We didn't know that. Like I was like, okay, this is so cool. And so as a kid, that is what you get attracted to. You find these things very cool and very nice and so fun and all. So that was the first. As a kid, I grew up watching all that. So that thereafter, what happened was, so I did my 12th. My orientation changed. I did BTech in Information Technology, which I did from UP Technical University, JSS Noida. I did normal life. Then we were attracted to the, oh no, we should be a software engineer and I should be doing coding and all these multinational companies.
2008 and 10 were the peak times of IT boom.
Yes, that's true. So I was like, yeah, this is so cool. All the cool boys and girls are going and I'm so good. So normal life was happening. But somehow my dad and mom were always so wanted me to, so they spoke to me about it. I was generally very neutral, but you were always so keen and how, so you don't want, so we had a discussion about it actually. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll apply. There was this, as we all know, I was an observer. I was an observer in Indian Navy. So there was an ad for observer in Indian Navy. It was a direct entry where you get selected based on the marks, like they say your 10th, 12th graduation marks. And the first step of screening is that. That was the process at that point of time. So I sent I filled up the form I was working with Infosys at that time for that matter. I got a call. I was in Bangalore and luckily it was a Bangalore SSB. So I didn't have to travel and I was more worried. At that time when you start earning, you're more worried about spending money on these travel things. No, you rather spend on the clothes as a girl. I was like, thank God, my travel money is saved. So I happily went for the SSB. It was aviation.
Travel is taken care, food is taken care, 5 days party in Bangalore.
Yeah, I was like, wow, in this heart of the city, near MG Road. Like, this is dream. Anyways, so I went for, that is when I went for the SSB. And we'll talk about SSB and everything in detail. But anyways, so I went for SSB, we got through. That is how I got in Indian Navy. But one thing I want to bring out, when I joined Indian Navy, or the fact that I wanted to join, or I was very inspired and I was very fascinated is one part of it. When I actually joined, there is what we need to understand as individuals, that it is not just some fancy career or some amazing people in uniform doing dashing things. It's a very big thing of responsibility. There is so much you need to be trained on. There is so much you need to learn. You could be good at physical, but it does not stop at physical. You could be intelligent, but it does not stop at being intelligent. You could be a good people's or HR person, but it just does not stop at handling men. You are taking care of the nation.
That's what it's a balanced package, and everywhere a balance is required.
So then it hit me when we started training. It hit me. It is not some fancy uniform that I'm donning. I'm taking care of the nation. It's like mother taking care of kids. We are the people. The nation is in our hands. It may sound like बहुत बड़ी बात लगेगी कि ओह कितनी बड़ी बात बोल दी कि देश का दारोमदार हमारे ऊपर है, but that's true. Whatever little job that you are doing in the armed forces, so it's a big thing of that is it. So I realized the responsibility side of it when I joined the Navy, and then the rest is history. And so I was a on-air observer, and we had a training phase, and then
I remember you. My first ever this thing is like when I got recommended, and I was coming for medicals, and by then you guys are completing the medicals. You are just one batch ahead of me, right? So that is when I first remember. And then we had a lot of other things that we'll keep it aside in terms of observer school fights and all.
That's core memories, I guess.
Yeah,
fights.
Great. I totally dedicate if I'm able to speak Hindi today, जितने भी बोल पा रहा हूँ, all thanks to you कि special interest from your side कि यार तू बोल दे कुछ तो मुंह खोल, speak something.
But that's hats off. That's nice. Adi, do you want to say hi to people here?
Hi Adi.
So my son made this ship. He's also so inspired by the Navy. Now he's making a ship and in the ocean.
Then you'll be a proud naval mother, huh?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you join.
absolutely. I think I'm
The naval wife, naval officer, naval wife, or then sooner to be naval mother.
I hope so. I hope he's like he has it in him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I want to tell you one thing. So there are two things I want to say. When you just said about this learning Hindi, no. So two things. One, only I think 2-3 lines I know in Tamil, and that I credit to you. You remember I used to talk to your mother. You used to give me the phone and
Yeah.
tell her how was the food. So that I credit to you. And second thing, I could not pick up. So hats off to you, women, that being from a different region and you started learning Hindi around the same time I wanted to learn a South Indian language, let's say Tamil or Telugu, but I could not pick up and you picked up. That's a great feat. So really, really hats off. Like it's not
mentor be good.
you were not a good teacher. I was a very good teacher. What is wrong?
Maybe I'm just learning how to teach now.
Okay.
And just let's rehearse our observer school times when we got promoted to lieutenants, when we were taken to Sapress's office.
When you were saying no, we will talk about the training times, I was like, if we tell them what we really did there, these people will be like, what are these people?
No. Let them learn.
We should only tell this inspiring good part. Oh. Okay.
Let's tell them only the good things.
No, training was good. Actually, the time I actually got oriented in the Indian Navy properly, oriented as in like when my interest really started was in observer school only. Till observer school, I used to feel like ये कितना पढ़ा रहे हैं. And by the way, people think that in the armed forces there is no studies. There is so much.
Every day gun firing.
There is so much to study. Oh God.
Actually, after observer school, no, I called up Colonel Jaivel. Colonel Jaivel was my mentor. So he was the one who told me. मैं सर को एक बार फोन किया बोल सर आप थोड़ा सा मुझे हिंट किया होता ना कि अंदर इतना पढ़ाई होती है.
There is so
much.
So us being in naval aviation has got all the more studies. So much of theory sessions, so much of flying. I think, did we fly together the first time? No, we did not know. But we did not fly the first time.
With me it was Meha, Pooja and Vishaka Prashant.
That was with Kiran and Devrani, if I'm not wrong.
Kiran, yeah, we'll speak about Kiran after some time.
True.
Such a nice soul.
I know. That's good. Anyway, so yeah, so there was so much of studies we did at that time. That is when my inclination further increased, because aviation, if people, I don't know if people understand, the audience understands here. So like generally, I just, what I've seen in outside world, in corporate also, now that I'm working outside, I've led service, if people don't know. So people take armed forces in Indian army. So they'll directly go to the Kashmir part and their mind will be sitting on the border. Okay, they are sitting on the border. That is the part. So it's not just that. We have a bigger.
Just sorry to disturb. There was like one boy who called me and like, sir, I want to join army. I said, okay, fine. Why not Air Force or Navy? No, sir, only army. I said, like, why? What happened? Sir, I saw one movie. I got inspired. So every day morning I'll kill one Pakistani. I said, that will not happen every day.
God, true. For people, if they don't know, the Indian maritime border is so huge. Cannot survive 7516 kilometers. So it's it's not just the land borders that we need to protect. The 26/11 attack which happened was through the maritime area. It was through the ocean. So that is where Arabian Sea, where the terrorists came and attacked. So even the maritime borders have to be manned. So that is the job of Indian Navy. That is what we were doing, and people who are still there, they continue to do. It's a very intense and a very sensitive thing that people do. We don't do it anymore. Whoever does. So it's not. So when we say we were flying in Navy, it was not just some random flying. We are guarding the maritime borders. So you have to take care of that. Some random terrorist will come and you'll be cursing yourself because you were flying at that time and you missed that window and you. Person and it will be pinned down. Nobody will pin to you, but you in your heart will know that you let your guard down and the nation fell hands.
The greatest learning which I had so far from the observer school is the definition of search. Okay. Search means just not searching. You have to ensure that thing is not there.
Oh my God! I'll tell you about one incident, women. I just after going to operational billet, I had gone for one sortie south of Campbell Bay. Campbell Bay, people to know. We'll ask. Good. Oh my God! I'm threatening people by the way I'm. They're like, don't call this woman live, she's too scary. So we had gone south of Campbell Bay for one sortie. We were supposed to find some foreign naval ship, and we could not find. We had to come back down. We had to justify up the chain. Why did we? It's a very sensitive thing. There was this one time we could not find something that we were supposed to find in the designated area. And we had to come back and prove how could it not be in that particular area and where could it have been otherwise. It's very sensitive. These things are very sensitive. Correct. So by proving that it is not.
The inputs are available that particular ship is available. That when you go there, it is not there. How it can get missed?
Yes,
it is there.
That's true. What you are saying is true. To prove it's not there.
In my memory, it is like when you are at Port Blano, that time I was in Goa, B310.
That's
So that time we used to do a lot of missions where we go across from one of the western borders and then we fly towards our counterpart nations at low levels to track their radars. That was like the most memorable things which I used to remember. And sometimes at that point in time, it was like most challenging. Now it is like the most cherished moment. Yeah, I can also like I was also part of this doing actively late nights, midnights.
That's true. So that is something I think. This I said in my when I left service. This I said to all the men I was addressing in my farewell, and I would like to say here. You said no cherished memory at that time. It is terror, and then it becomes a cherished memory. So the day I joined Indian Navy, I cried. I called my mom and dad and I cried. You remember that academy? There was an area we used to go.
Hmm.
And there were long lines. We had to really wait.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they were designated.
yeah, yeah.
The first day we got after joining the academy, the first time I got opportunity to speak after 3-4 days, I got an opportunity to speak once, and I cried because I was not exactly prepared for what was hitting me at that moment. Because I was like, shit, have I joined the correct? Was what I was thinking, was it the correct thing? This it seemed different. It was different. It demanded different things from me than what I thought it should. We are so naive and immature, you know. Like at least I was. I exactly. I was like, okay, it is such a responsible position. It's not just, as I said in the beginning, no, it's not just the uniform. It is not. I'm just not walking wearing. And the day I left service, again I cried. But that was not because I was sad, and that was because I was sad. I was leaving the armed forces.
Correct.
It was a deliberate decision. Me leaving service at 10 years, it was a superannuation at 10 years, and I deliberately chose to leave, but still I cried. It was a conscious choice. I mean, I think that is what armed forces does to us. It ingrains us that feeling of gratitude and love for our service and the nation. I cried the last day. I had tears in my eyes. So I joined with tears because I was not sure, and I left with tears because I did not want to leave. I still wanted to continue, but I think it was so. It is.
Okay,
Yeah,
life
I
has
think
to move on.
life has to move on. But I think that is what armed forces does to us. It brings us all together. It makes us one and want to be together and work together. I think that is also one of the important things. No, I think our observer school training and the fights, irrespective of the fights, we were always together.
Yeah, don't call it fights, yeah. Don't call it fights. Don't call it fights. The audience like we were like fighting every day.
Funny banters. I'm just saying, despite, so I have differences with my parents also. So it is like we are bound to have differences with the people we live with and spend time with. And our trainings, there is no time limit, no morning till evening.
Correct.
So we were together. We were sort of living together, and we had our differences, and still we were always together. I think that is how we learned being together. We may have
Correct.
differences, but we should walk together because we have to have each other's back.
100%, 100%.
Yes.
Otherwise, with the training, actually, in SSB, no, right now when I'm doing assessment and all, the aim of the group obstacle race is only that only because till then you'll be doing GD, GP, group discussion, group planning exercise, PGT. You'll always find your members are not letting your ideas to go through and all those things. So every time you're in a competitive mind with them, as well as you're somewhere cooperating. The purpose of group obstacle race is to bring in that unity, to bring in the group development. Because so far you're finding others as your own enemies, others your threats. But in the group obstacle race, your adjacent group is your threat. So now threat is coming from outside. So automatically you let go of your differences and then you start binding in a group. Okay, let's do war cry and then let's win this race and all those things. Likewise, our training is also so tough. There is no time for our individual differences. There is no time at all. Threat is outside. So you have to stay together. There is no other way you will survive.
That is true. That is true. I want to ask you this, by the way. So you had, anyways, we do a lot of things being in the armed forces, so many roles we handled, but broadly, you had two amazing portfolios that you handled. One was the aviation career, and from there you shifted to, you became a GTO. So it was like you got inducted and then you got to see the sides that how you induct. And so how was that experience and how that changed your perspective towards SSB, or how it enlightened you? Like, why don't you, we have never spoken about it actually also. So actually,
Okay.
like,
Once we become an assessor, no, so we always like start analyzing everyone who's speaking in front of us. Hey, तो hey, उससे now तो I stopped it. Now I became matured and I was like, no, ये नहीं करना. Otherwise क्या होता है? So normally you speak to anybody, you don't like it, but still your mind keeps doing it. Like, and sometimes I used to speak to president also and tell कि sir चलेंगे उन्होंने ऐसे बोला था ना उसकी meaning ऐसा रहेगा. Because whether we like it or not, all of us are assessors in this whatever like a mess में है कहीं पे भी हो, we keep assessing others, so we have to stop it and then we have to enjoy. This is fun. Next is you do a lot of self assessment now. Once you become a GTO, now you start applying. मेरे टाइम में मैंने ऐसा किया तो इसका मतलब यही हो, GTO मुझसे पास किया कि नहीं.
that's true.
All those things keep happening. One thing I'll tell is the system is so fair. System is so fair and nice, and it is so clear that a guy who's not suitable or a guy who is not fit, or not the right fit, will not have a chance to come in. Both are here. And the assessors is also so nice and human. They will understand, okay, this boy has got a potential, but he's in a raw form. He may not be able to express in the way we wanted, but they identify there is a raw thing in it. They're like, okay, with the training, he can pull through. And now Navy has kept a minimum criteria that's around 7 years of service you should do. Then only you can apply for all these kind of courses. Why? Because you yourself have to understand what is my service expects. What is my service expects out of an officer? What kind of personality, what kind of officers I have to see and interact. So in 7 years time, generally we get to interact with so many officers, and then we understand, okay, these are the right kind of material what we are looking for. So once you know, then only you can think, okay, if this person is like this, again it's all calculated judgment calls. Okay, fine. Agar as a situation as a react kar raha hai, with the training he'll be able to do better, and then service mein jaake and then he can pull up. That's how we recommend a candidate. It is no. And if anybody has shown a kink or anybody has shown a issue, then we don't recommend them. We normally, that's what I even tell in stage one. In stage one, if there is a situation where a benefit of doubt is to be given, we give it to the candidates. Okay, you come and say, we have another 4 days to analyze you. You come in, no problem. We will not kick you out. But in the conference, if it comes, then the benefit of doubt goes to the system, the service. We don't want a bad apple to come in. You go, groom, and come back again. We will see you again. So that time, the service takes priority. The boy gets conferenced out, boy or girl, whoever it is. Now, yes, it's a two different portfolio. Ek to aviation, I was doing all those things. Now, after coming to G2, it's a totally unique experience which I gained. And I don't know, nowhere in my life I thought कि मैं assessor बन जाऊं, फिर उसके बाद as a coaching academy खोल देता हूं. Maybe destiny is pulling me this way is what I personally feel. I'm also doing one more startup. I have not told you this also. I'm doing something which is related to camper van tourism.
Okay, please enlighten me.
Yeah, it's a IIT Madras incubated company. The company's name is called Camper Van Factory, and I'm also a shareholder. I'll be one of the directors also in some time. My directorship process is already on, and so here it is like we are trying to bring camper vans in the country at a mass level. Like there are few now, it is all individually owned and modified. What we are trying to do is a OEM produced one. So we already made an agreement with Mahindra and Mahindras. So maybe our first prototype is already on the road. The second vehicle we are preparing, which is for the launch. So that we are preparing for it. Once that is there, sooner you might be able to see it in news also, TV as well. Once that is come, then the mass productions will start, and then anybody and everybody can afford one. Like the concept evolved, like why only actor, actress, and all those elite crowd has to access the camper vans. Why not a common man? So once it's Sandhya,
Okay,
ma'am, thank you so much. Sandhya ma'am has commented. Good to see you both in one frame.
Vimal, can you give me 1 second, please?
Yeah, please. By then I'll try and take Sandhya ma'am.
Yes.
Let's.
Okay, I'll come in.
Guys, I given invite to Sandhya ma'am. Let's see if she's. Thanks. Okay, guys, how is the session going? If you all like it, just put one Y. We'll be happy to know. Or you can write full yes. Hi, Adi. Appointment to meet me personally.
Sorry, guys. The comms.
No problem.
Okay,
So-
I wanted to tell you. Okay, you were saying something.
So that was the other startup which is happening. So till then, as at some point in time, I purely feel it is all maybe destiny is just pulling me. I got an offer in Jaguar also, Jaguar admin setup, because I've set up Kohasa, no, commissioning EXO.
Yes.
They want to set up a facility in Bangalore. So the moment I said that, the interview got over. They said, okay, sir, when are you joining? Kind of thing start over. But by then I found this camper van to be more, and when I spoke to Aruna, my wife, so then we discussed in length, and then we told like, ठीक है, 1 year के लिए entrepreneurial journey थोड़ा try करके देखते हैं. If it sets in, we'll set in. Then otherwise we'll do something else. So with that, I started.
But I want to tell you something, Vimal. This I found out now. So congratulations for that. But otherwise, I thought I'll say this in the end, but it's shaping up right now. I just want to say I'm so proud of you. And you know why? Because and it comes back to that how armed forces have shaped us in a way that we are able to do so many, we are able to achieve so many feats in our lives. So you started from being in aviation as an observer. You became a GTO. You've done great service to the nation by bringing in the right kind of talent and I would say talent of the right people who could serve the nation. From there, when you left service, it's nothing, there is nothing wrong in, so most of the people when they leave service, a lot of them join corporates, even I'm in corporate sector now. So it's but you chose the terrain which very few people dare to take. You now, after leaving the service also, you are doing service to the nation by training the right, or by grooming the people so that the right people can get groomed in the right way. And you're not stopping at that. You're doing some amazing things. You just said that you're working, you're enlicened with one of the firms and you'll be one of the directors very soon. So big things you're doing, and like you're done good service to the nation, and you've used all the right training that was given to you there, and you're applying it in a direction. So like really proud of you.
And this CCD Academy is also, I feel like this is the best I can give it back to the service which gave me so much. I want all those top creamy layer not to go only for the corporate. They have to be slightly diverted towards armed forces. Especially, I'm concentrating on the southern belt because South may the awareness towards armed forces is quite less, and they all choose corporates as a career option. And corporates may, when the campus placements comes, no, 30,000 or 35,000 per month, and they're very happy about it. But I tell them, your life can be even more better when you join armed forces. So that's why I'm trying all this. Key. Okay, somebody has to do it because for me there was no one, and my NCC seniors were the ones. I like. If you ask me frankly, I told this many times also. If I would have removed the 3 years of NCC in my life, I may not be a person sitting in front of you the way right now I am. So for me, something called NCC has given me all this. So I was like, okay, there will be so many like me, and if I can be a mentor and if I can help them somewhere or the other, and they should be able to make it. And day before yesterday, one of my boy got recommended NSB Vizag SSC Tech Entry.
Great.
And when they give a call and tell like, got recommended and thanks to that kick is like, I don't know, no money matches that.
That's
and when the parents calls and speak, then so that is a different level of feeling only. And you feel like I got recommended again. I feel like it is like I'm again into SSB. So those kind of feelings it happens. So when more candidates get recommended, I get that feel for that. Maybe I'm doing this.
No, it's actually a great thing that you are doing to the nation. आप Navy में नहीं हो and still you are giving back to the armed forces. So that's actually a great thing. Okay. I want to ask you, like, so we all talk about a great one.
Yeah, please.
Interview now. I don't know. So we all talk about all the good things that we learned from and all the good things. I would like to know some experience where like it's something, I won't say bad experience, or something that you learned a lesson from, or something that you remember you learned by doing it the wrong way. Has it ever happened to you? Like learning from good things is one thing. Has it ever happened to you that during your service tenure or something?
Bad thing as a I would like to give a lot of credit to Commander Atul Pandan, now Captain Atul Pandan retired. My sir, I would like to remember at this moment. Bad things because sir has got a unique way of planning. So this I will highlight. It is not a bad thing. I missed my timelines in matching up to it. So a unique thing, normally he calls you on a Monday. He tells you like, can you do this work by when? So he tells you the entire work, what he wants and all those things. And then he tells like, okay, by when you can complete. So I normally say, sir, by Wednesday evening. He said, okay, Friday. When I say Wednesday, he gives Friday. He knows because with experience, he's like, Friday tak bhi nahi hoga. So that way, and Friday evening tak he will not ask me anything. Or Friday shaam ko, I reach home, then I get a call. Vimal, then it is like, you're on a Saturday back in office. So this thing I realized, okay, when you're giving a commitment or a timeline to somebody, you should be very clear whether you can hack it. Because when he was asking me, it is an opportunity given me to understand my entire work pressure which is around me, what are they flying and all. So catering all that, I should give a timeline. And even that he has given me 2 more days extra, but still I couldn't make it. So this at the very youngest stages of my life when I was in 3 months. So the moment this I learned, even till today I'm following it. Okay, if I give a commitment to someone, means that has to be made. Okay, giving when? Maybe if I tell somebody I'll call you tomorrow, considering all that facts, I should tell them, okay, I'll call you tomorrow, and I should give a call tomorrow. So this is one great learning which I'm following from sir. Until that it is happening for last 10 years, I'm doing it.
No, it's actually a good learning. That's true.
So that is one.
It qualifies. Don't worry. But will be like, I've told you to join my Instagram live and you are interviewing me with unnecessary questions.
No problem. It's okay. Anything is if the audience are able to get something out of this, and then I will be happy about it. Sunday, I'm John. I gave her a request. I think I do have a lot of sessions planned now in future, like with all of them, one by one, to just to share some piece of information. Mainly, it is to break the myths what everybody is having. Okay, armed forces means every day gun, every day this thing. Our life is not that way. Even I made one video in my YouTube also recently. It's like, what does a naval aviator's life look like? Morning 7 o'clock, say evening 7 o'clock, what he is going to do? What time he goes for play? It is not all 24 hours I'm in air and then flying. No, that is not possible. Okay, what are my admin works will be there, what are my other things are there in general, without exactly telling everything, but in general. But people should also understand that, okay, ऐसे भी काम करना पड़ेगा. These are the line of work which I'll be getting. Otherwise, like the way you mentioned, I joined after some 3-4 days I started crying because I'm unable to take a decision, or I'm in a confused state. जो भी हमने choice की है, is it the correct thing or a bad thing? When I wanted to give a call to Colonel Sehgal and he said, थोड़ा hint कर लो. I should have been studying more. So at least now I'm telling you, if you're learning aviation, you prepare to study. Every year there will be one exam.
What?
Every year there will be, no, one inspection, 2 inspection, 3 inspection, then your own upgradation, rating. And it's a mock test squadron every quarter or once in a month. So there is a lot of studies per se in armed forces. Because in my personal opinion, armed forces is not good. Any country will not go for any war. Open out war, so nobody is going to go because everybody has got a nuclear power. Everybody is going to go. So nobody is going to do that. And by going for an open war, you will be going back another 20 years back in economy. We will lose out so much. All money will go, and people will go back. The development will go back. So open wars is not going to happen. Is what I personally feel. There will be a lot of experts to comment. But then why armed forces officers, then what are we going to do when war is not there? What are we going to do? We don't know when the situation will come. Then why we should get paid? We should get paid to keep ourselves professionally up and ready for any eventuality which is going to come any day. So professionally up and ready means study, nothing else. Study and practice your procedure.
True, that's true. So true.
Oh,
This one,
better.
so with this, I also want to say. So when I was about to leave service, no. So my mom, my dad, my brother, my mother-in-law, my husband's side is a joint family. Everybody was so sad because, as you know, after 10 years, you can actually request for extension to 2 plus 2 more years. Our total can be 14 years. And by the time I was leaving, we also had an opportunity where we could apply for a permanent commission. So which I did not apply for a different set of reasons. But anyway, so I could have at least extended to 2 plus 2, but I left at 10. So everybody I could have known in my family was sad, were so disappointed. They were like, "Why are you leaving? What is this?" I had a conversation with my brother. He was asking me, "What is your basic pay? Do you think you'll be able to earn so much outside? This is your basic." So the one thing I want to bring out is that armed forces, like people will be like, "Ye to me demotivate kar rahi hai." I'm not demotivating. I hope I'm not demotivating. I would like actually want to inspire you by this, but I don't know. So armed forces.
Okay, anybody feels it as a demotivation, just forget this chapter. This
no, I just want to say that it's not a typical government job. That is what I told my parents. It's not a government job that I'm doing. The salaries are governed by the government job norms, but it's not it's a government sector, but it's not a government job. It's not a 9 to 5 job where I get just because I'm getting a certain basic pay, grade pay as per the structures of the pay commissions in the government. It's not a typical.
That is only to get yourself some parlance and maintain some protocols. Nothing else. To what level I can judge you, to whom you are equivalent. Your pay is only for that. Nothing else.
What I would want to bring out, which I told my family also, was this is not. They were like, "Oh, you are an officer, you get saluted. It's a government job." People, the previous generation had a lot of this notion also. So it's not a typical government job that I'm doing. It's a position of responsibility. When I left service, a kid who was 2 years old, and I had some other commitments towards my family. My mother-in-law was not keeping well at that time, so my mom is working. So, and the kid needs full-time attention. My husband is also a naval officer who's still serving. So that was the reason I left, because I felt that I could not have committed myself wholly towards working.
And your son was also growing up.
And when you're serving the nation, you cannot keep coming up with excuses. Today my son was crying a lot, so I cannot come and fly. Because I'm telling you again, one terrorist will enter because I miss my flying sortie. It's not a joke. I'm telling it in a live way, but it's not a joke. It seems it's a rare situation. It may not happen in your lifetime, but I'm just saying. So it's a position of responsibility. It's a position of you have to have your priorities straight. You know that Chetwood's principle, that the safety of your nation comes first. The safety, honor, and everything of your men comes next, and yourself, everything of yours comes last. So that is true to the T, to the last bit of it. It's not, मतलब बिल्कुल सही कहा गया है, 100% एकदम हर शब्द अक्षरशः सही बोला गया है कि
exactly anybody with those line of thoughts is what can pick up this kind of jobs. Anybody who feels like मेरा खुद का family है, छोटा है, that person may crack an SSB, but he'll not be happy inside that environment. He will feel like मैं कहाँ के फंस गया. He'll feel this only.
That's true. And the other thing you were talking about it, so it hit me at that point of time. You were saying about SSB that you at least see that the spark should be there or capability should be there. So I think, Vimal, I would fall in those category of people ki spark and capability wala. Like I was not a runner. I was not a person who used to do a lot of physical. For the first time I've run an academy. So I am assuming I would have been the category of candidates जिनमें उन्होंने स्पार्क देखा होगा कि हाँ सही बंदा है, इसे लेंगे तो ये अचीव, मतलब ये कुछ हमारे स्टैंडर्ड्स तक पहुंच सकता है. So this thing I want to bring out, that just because you have not run till now, or just because you have not done X amount of jumps and all those physical activities, or whatever swimming, just because you have not done that till today does not mean कि आप फ्यूचर में भी नहीं कर पाओगे. Don't get bogged down only by thinking कि मेरा तो physical strong feat है ही नहीं, तो मुझको तो ये लेंगे ही नहीं. ऐसा नहीं होता है. For the first time I ran in an academy, and running is not the only criteria. So you should have the grit, and I think सही अपनी वो सही होनी चाहिए, कहना चाहिए मन में भावना सही होनी चाहिए उस चीज के प्रति. तो मतलब अगर आपकी फीलिंग ठीक है तो I guess I don't know.
SFP terms में it is like if your mental stamina is good, no, your physical stamina can be improved.
True.
ठीक है. If mentally if you're strong, if we feel कि okay this boy or girl can pull it across, mostly it is mental only. No, entering also see it your mental perspective. Psychologist is looking at your subconscious mind. So that way GT also has some amount of this thing. But if you feel that this boy or girl can be groomed and then can be pulled across, they'll be pulled across. So that is a calculative call we take.
True. So basically, people should not get bogged down simply by. That's true. Because
taking pre-voluntary retirement and joining corporate, I have seen number of armed forces officers taking pre-voluntary retirement and joining officer. Yes, there's nothing wrong in that. They serve the country for more than 20 years, 21 years, and thereafter they would like to spend life in corporate and enjoy both, because the prime age of their youth life, they are able to do it. And most of them are already a short service officers who are able to do 10 years of service and then till 40. So it's a fair balance, because people like armed forces officers have to come into corporate, then only the corporate and civil world will also groom and grow more better.
True. In fact, US also follows similar regime. No? They have a minimum 5 year of engagement. which they migrate to corporate
See,
side.
you worked in Infosys, right? I was also working in Infosys. My training was in Mysore for about 2 weeks. Then I was in Infosys Pune campus. But I was thinking the campus is so fine and all these things. But after getting into Armed Forces, I realized all the principles followed in Armed Forces has been adopted by Infosys Wipro. It is not Infosys Wipro who was doing the one principle which Armed Forces was doing for about 50 years, 60 years in ages. Corporate. Then slowly I get to understand that all the top managerial category were all filled with all Armed Forces officers. So they slowly bring in those policy environment which is more effective and conducive for the corporate people too.
That's true. So I was working previously with JP Morgan Chase, right?
Mm.
So okay, so this is I think this must be applicable to all the armed forces people who work outside in corporate. They must have got a similar feedback. So one of the feedbacks that I got from my manager when I was leaving the firm was that he said that, and I did not realize it because I was not very deliberate in doing that. He said, amongst other things that you've done, whatever productivity wise to the that you have brought to the application, one thing that you that I always be grateful, will be grateful or like really appreciate is that you brought such an amazing culture to the team, the way the teams are conducting their timelines and like every day, whatever meetings and everything, because we're so diligent. No, you say 10:30. I think today 10:30, we called each other at 10:25 or so when we were, so you're always there ahead. 10:30 is 10:20 or 10:25. 10:30 will never be 10:31. So this what my manager told me, I'm 100% sure will be applicable to all the armed forces people who are working outside. They bring the right culture and the right mannerism, in the sense like the right that you should be on time, the timelines have to be met for whatever we are working towards, the diligence and everything. He said you've brought a lot of that, and I was like, really? I don't think so, because I find everybody nice. I know because I've seen the change since you've come. So it was a great compliment for me. But then I realized that it must be true to all the officers, because we are being trained and groomed in the same services by the same people and same culture that is being followed.
And that's what definitely most of the time it helps. And even in this camper van thing, what I'm doing, he's also feeling, sir, if he's calling me something like, sir, can you do this? I said, sir, by evening 7 o'clock. By 6:45, the mail is out. He feels like, sir, boss, yeah, sir, I'm only for this much commitment. What I give, I'll hoga. If I know if I'm busy, I'm traveling somewhere, flying out somewhere. Now that I'm with IPL, there is some movements that are happening. Okay, I have not opened much on you for this IPL thing also. This is a 2 months assignment which I have taken up. And basically, I would like to understand mainly because cricket or carnival in this IPL. There is so much of people and working and all. So I feel like, okay, if this is the case, let me understand how does the background operates. Mainly, I want to see the entire thing from the back end, not from the front end, because front end everybody is able to see in the TV. So I was looking for an opportunity like this. So I got one. So this 2 months assignment I've taken up just to understand it's truly really amazing. And there is so much of learning again for me. Mainly I came to learn in the process. Yes, definitely. I'm also getting paid well. And in the process, and luckily, again, with the armed forces grooming, I'm able to manage my sessions as well as I'm able to dedicate myself here. I'm able to maintain a balance in terms of, because the program is already pre-planned. So I know what are all the days I can't take classes. So accordingly, I put other assessors. In my team, I've got a psychologist as well as interviewing officer. Okay. And again, thanks to this IPL only, because till then I was having 3 sets, like one interviewing officer, one psychologist, one GTO self. And this IPL thing came, I realized just in case if I'm not able to take class, who will take? Then I started speaking to more people, more GTOs. Sandhya ma'am as well. Ma'am, can you give me coverage just in case I requirement? Ma'am said, yeah, possible, Vimal, why not? So thanks to her. So that way, now I expanded the team into 3 IOs, 3 psychologists and 3 GTOs. Ab kisi bhi time mein somebody will be there to take class. Okay, so students need not to worry. So this is one. And I'll tell you one thing. The opening ceremony happened in Ahmedabad. The strength of the stadium is about 1,25,000, which is the world's biggest cricket stadium. The housing capacity is 1,25,000. You know how many people worked at the back end for the 3 hours or 4 hours of match? 8,000. 8,000 cards were made. Like these are the accreditation cards. So like this, 8,000 cards were made. So that means 8,000 people are working at the back end just to get the show on ground for about 3 or 4 hours, maybe you can call it. So that is the amount of learning I understand. And when an innings changeover happens, no, it is again a learning for me. We have also done these kind of things so much, but again, it's a learning. It's like even in this world also, civil world is also not that bad. Here also things happens. Things happens. So that is what I would like to bring it on here. But one more thing, what I found is there are a lot of people here who gets a job done, and then though they do this much, they like they portray so much. I've done this. Okay, I feel like यार ये तो मैं तो morning phone करते करते ऐसे हो जाता है. So one more learning what I realized is armed forces give you so much of responsibilities. You are able to do so much, but yet you remain grounded. You don't go out and boast कि मैंने ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया, ये कर दिया. I've done this, that. Nobody boasts out so much. And even if I want to boast out, it is not coming out because it is not in our nature to boast so much. In our nature कि काम दिए, कर लिए और silent बैठे.
But Vimal, I've also realized, like, it's a typical life learning. I don't know if it's applicable to any armed forces aspirations or not. But like, the more humble you are, the more grounded you are, and the more genuine you are towards your work, takes you much longer way. Like, I can boast today, and I may get accolades today, but that will not take me long. But the genuine heart and the positivity and the hard work that you do genuinely will take you much longer way in life.
Yes.
So I think, I'm actually feeling so proud, Vimal, that you're doing some amazing things. You're doing things for yourself, But irrespective, you're doing things for the nation also, and you're putting that at the front seat.
Yeah.
Still. So that's great. I think armed forces has like produced an amazing, amazing, fantastic person,
You know,
and that is you.
not me. Everybody who came out are also able to do this many things.
But I'm still feeling so proud. So today, as on date, what am I doing? I'm working in a corporate. I don't want to sound mean and all, but I'm working for myself in a way. But I feel so proud, and now I feel that I should also be giving back in some manner. That has taken a backseat in my life right now.
So join my team. I'm putting up a team where like I just want your time. Okay, if you're okay to give your time in grooming someone, I'm also working on something else. Like all armed force officers can come and give their time for grooming of the youths. Yeah, I'm sure definitely everybody can spend at least 1 hour for grooming someone's life. So I'm also in the process of doing something like that. So definitely you're on board for that. I'll write down.
Live, you have said this. I'll chase you
That's
for
it.
life.
Huh? Yeah, for sure, for sure. If I have to pull somebody for something to happen on ground, first who will I see? I'll look at my own course mates only first. No, because here there is no need to take permission. I can straight a demand. De do chahiye. But if it is somebody senior,
That is one of the things that we are not sure we should be happy about or sad about. Happy because we have people reach out to, sad because anybody will come to me. Chalo Arohi. And I'll be like, okay, I have choice. But that's
your session what? Your session. I told it session is there on Sunday free. There 1 hour. That's all. That's what I want.
yeah, of course, why not? Like if you we can be of any inspiration of any help, or if you can catalyze somebody's thought process, then nothing like it. Like I feel so grateful.
Yeah, and recently all those NCC ANOs also few of them has called me, and few are from different states like Bombay and other places. They're telling, sir, can you give one lecture to the students and all? I said, ma'am, traveling to Bombay, giving not be there. Maybe COVID has given a free option of online, so if you can put students, I can definitely give a session. Like I'll be able to do and all those things. It's a social gesture which I would like to give it back to the society maybe. And from there, if wanted to join armed forces, they can get groomed, trained, and then subsequently they can make it. And if they make it, really, I'll be feeling happy.
That's true. That is another thing I think COVID that has done to us is that we have understood our capabilities beyond being face to face. Like you don't have to have a tete-a-tete to like get an understand. Online also we have like our minds have opened towards this. Today I can sit and talk to you. I can actually call you up for a grooming session. Let's say I may or may not need it. I can somebody else. So that is another thing that world is open to. So you need not restrict yourself to the southern parts of the country. I think northern also I'm sure you must be doing it.
I don't restrict myself. I'm saying, I'm concentrating that even from the like I have candidates from across the country. There is no limitation per se, and I'm able to keep.
What I feel is that like North will be more towards Indian Army because that is what you get exposure to. Southern people will more be inclined towards the Indian Navy because that is what they get to see. Is also another feeling thought because I always saw Indian Army and Air Force. Navy was a new thing for me. Similarly, when I joined the corporate. So my office was in Hyderabad, and a lot of people in my team were from South India. So they all had a basic understanding. Okay, ships, carriers, this naval uniform. They had an understanding. So then I realized, okay, this is maybe because they are living towards the belt, which is towards the ocean. So they have a better understanding of the Navy.
Right. Even this thing like this we consider in the SSBs while designing the progressive group GP group planning exercise. No, we restrict using the water related things, river or sea. To at least river, we can put it in the problem. So sea we don't, because a guy coming from Rajasthan would never see a sea. A 12 completed NDA boy coming, he would have never understand how does a sea look like. Okay, and likewise we don't put deserts. Somebody coming from Tamil Nadu will not even understand what is a desert, how the terrain will be, how it has to. So all these things are being considered in SSB. Yeah, if a boy comes from Rajasthan, it should not be. Maybe a river he would have seen somewhere while crossing, going in train. Somewhere he would have seen, okay, this is how a river looks like. A boy, there is a possibility he would have not even seen a sea.
That's true. That's true. Oh my God, so much thought process goes. We did not realize. We were randomly like yapping and giving our suggestions on the problem during our SSB. But there's a lot of thought process.
It's such a painful course. It's called mental commander course, especially the GTO course.
Okay.
What happens, we have got 9 tasks. GD, GP and all this, total 9. So now GD has got 2.
Okay.
GP is 1. Okay. GP mein written solution is one part and then the discussion is other part. So that makes 4 so far. PGT has got 4. PGT 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means how much? 8. GOR is 1. 9. Half group task. Then lecturate and individual obstacles, command task, and file group task. Now for everything, I have to write one sheet per candidate. GD1, I have to write one sheet. What he has done, why he has done, how he has done. GD2, I have to do. PGT1, PGT2, like this. Now imagine into group of 10 candidates. And
it's not as
and this much, and thereafter you have to consolidate, and then again you have to rewrite one paragraph. They say it one paragraph, it comes so much. The indoor task, that is GD, GP, and lecturate, and remaining 6 all out there as one paragraph. Now from this two, you derive the OLQs and then write one final paragraph of 15 OLQs, and from there you convert it. So when I was doing 7th or 8th batch of my training, so this part and all has gone bend. And the night report, like there is no time to sleep. It is like you are writing GTO one day, you are writing till something you wrote, and the next day you sleep for about 1 hour maybe, and then go for GTO2. And then once you've done GTO2, there is no time for you. You write all the reports. When you complete reports for everyone, put and file it away, the pages will be somewhere around 135 pages, 140 pages, one file of one batch. And it will be morning 5:30 or 6. And your conference will be about 8:30. So there is no time to sleep. Then you don't feel like sleeping, because if you sleep, you might get late. And your marks are cross-checked with your assessor's marks. So if conference is 8:30, he'll come about 7:45. So that means 7:30 you should be waiting. He comes and says, okay, what is the mark you gave for those so-and-so candidate? You cross-check and then he tells you the correction. So you don't sleep at all actually on the GTO2 day. Conference khatam hoga by about 12:30. You come and sleep for lunch time. I don't want lunch, nothing. After the conference, there is one conference tea, have something, come and sleep for 4 hours. Evening 5:30, the next batch reports. Luckily now, because of COVID, the next day morning they're reporting. Early evening 5:30, because conference get over, 1 o'clock or so, they all go. Next slot, they pick up by 3:30 from railway station, 5:30 they're there. You are again there for the opening address. That is the level of toughness. But again, for me, I found it to be easy compared to others. Reason being, thanks to aviation. Nothing else. Nothing else.
So I was attending one. I joined PwC recently, and somebody was addressing us, and he was like, "So the corporate life was talking about how they live the corporate life and all." And he was like, "There is so much, and the grind and the days. Abhi shuruaat ke din are so much like easier, and like eventually there's so much grind, this and that." And I did not say it obviously, but in my heart I was thinking, "Oh my God, you should be in the aviation. Once you're in the after that." Like there's nothing that can be harder than that, because you fly at night, you fly at 4 o'clock in the night, you're coming back at 12 o'clock. Like there's no end to all this. So I think aviation, or I think generally armed forces, makes sure like they toughen you to take on any kind of challenges in life, and then thereafter nothing. But I think this is another learning which I will take. I knew it to some extent, but you don't know unless somebody says it out loud. So the GTO, the job of a GTO looks so nice. Again, it looks so fancy, it looks so nice.
When with Ray and all that, you feel like, passion.
GTO or whatever. So, but it's actually not that. There's so much you're doing behind the scenes. So nothing, they say no, that life is not a bed of roses. Like it's the true example of that. Nothing comes free. Nothing comes for free. This fancy life that you are living or doing or like whatever, that also comes at a price, which is a lot of hard work. Like you have to put hours, you have to put your finger on by writing so much. So like your fingers will...
That's what I feel like. Somebody would have hinted me in a GTO course with this stuff.
No, but so it's a good learning. No, like today I feel nothing, anything fancy is not just fancy. You have to put in a lot of hard work, and you have to give your soul to it. Like genuinely.
It's like GTO course, no? In my course, we were 25 who did the course, but only 4 made it. 2 army officers, 1 me, and then 1 coastal officers. Rest all are not failed. Not failed. They are not given. Enough of pains. That's how it is. In all these courses, assessment officers courses, though everybody is an officer, but the level of pain the course gives, no. That's why it is called as a mental commando course, especially GTO course. It is mental commando course. You have to be so at it, then only it will come. Otherwise, it is way too tough. Way too tough. I don't know how it's sailed, how it through, and all those things which GTO speaks in front of you. When you go before every task, he tells you or something. It's a briefing. It's a briefing. It's a mugged up briefing. I never mugged up so much in my life.
Really?
We mug up the same sentence. You can't miss anything because it is standardized. Because a candidate appearing in Bhopal has to hear the same. A candidate appearing in Bangalore has to hear the same. A candidate appearing in Vizag or Calcutta, anywhere, Allahabad, has to hear the same. It's a standardized thing. We mug it up and we deliver it interactively, so that the candidate does not feel ki some tape recorder on ho gaya types. No, it should not be that way. So it is like, ek to pehle ratna hai, and then just deliver. Then we are trying to give that modulation up and down, ki taki you still hold the interest and then maintain that. I don't know. Now if I see how it all went across, pure things, aviation, emergency procedures, briefing, ratto, then abhi ho gaya.
No, but I think this all must be meant to happen, because you came to aviation, you would have never thought that you would do GTO. You did GTO, you would have never thought you will be training. So I think everything that you did for 10 years or 12 years, women don't kill me. You left service in 10 years or 12 years?
12.
Well, so whatever
I extended 12 mainly to take GTO experience. Otherwise, because Corona has happened in my 9th year of service, and I don't know how that happened, why it happened to me. Again, in my 12 years of life, my maximum potential came out was in Kohasa only. When the world was enjoying 4G, we got no G.
Yeah.
There were 28 days straight. There was no network in Andaman, like North Andaman. No, we used to come till this place, Diglipur, and then to make one call at night just to tell ki sir everything is fine, and then just to come and tell ki my wife, okay, things are fine there. So you have to travel 45 minutes one way, make a call for 5 minutes, again go back 45 minutes.
No, I know. I have landed there before it was commissioned. And oh my God, that is I don't know, demoralized, but it's such a godforsaken place, in the sense that we are okay, we are up for it because you get trained eventually in life, so you are like okay. But any civilian going there for the first time will be like, oh my God, that's about it. Is that it? So it's a great feat commissioning one entire place altogether. It's not a small job. So yeah.
Nothing less. You also done equally challenging job. You started your career at Port Blair.
Yeah, I had no G when there was 3G and whatever everywhere in I started, but that was also good. Everything is a learning experience, I think.
See, ultimately, I connect everything only thing with destiny here because I wanted to be in Arakonam, I wanted to fly TUs.
Mhm.
Then, sir told like whoever is topping will get this. I topped in flying, Vishak topped in ground and overall.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, Vishak has got, so he get to choose. And people said, you are going to 310. I feel like, "Kya yaar, kahan ja raha hai?" Everybody like, it's the most operationally ready squadron. Every time you'll be active on the go. And maybe I went there, my bachelor would have gone in that. The moment I got married, and then within 1 year's time, I got shifted. So I feel like, okay, maybe the pain process has to go before I get married so that I get some time with my wife. So that thing, again, it's all destiny. I was selected for this musketry championship. Also, now roaming in this Mumbai streets, I feel the day when me and Mega were here for the shooting championship, WNC musketry. I was remembering that only yesterday and all.
What about it? Yeah, very much in the beginning. That's true. You and Mega were there, no?
So the first year I was representing Goa, then WNC as a player. Next year again I was with like OIC. I was the officer in charge of the entire WNC musketry team per se,
Yes.
and just missed the Navy shooting team selection by a day. I was called to Maldives then. Okay, it was all happened. When the was OIC, no, when we completed this thing, the next day was Navy shooting team ka selection was on. But by then, the Maldives crew was Sarachandran, sir. He was supposed to go and then he fell sick. So Pansa called me like, you come immediately to Goa, come back, and then you're going to Maldives tomorrow. I said, sir.
But imagine had you gone for the musketry championship, you could have been a champion there, and you would have never, you never know, you may not have gone for the GTO course altogether because you must be pursuing something. And
Anyway, so that's what time pulls it.
candidates हैं इनको आपसे train होने को नहीं मिलता. Just sitting back, listening to you, I'm feeling so proud. Vimal, so many things you've done and so much you've learned during your tenure in service and so much to give back. That is so great.
Now, only thing is, whatever we gain, we have to give back to the community. And I'm just looking for somebody who's just looking for correct mentorship, and the potential is there, sir. I just need some guidance. I'm happy to do that. That's what I'm trying to do. The entire process is that only. Definitely, I do need money. So my financial aspects is what my campervan factory will take care. So that is the agenda. So this has to take care of my financial. This I have to keep doing. Initially, I started my training free of cost, but the response was not good because when you do something for free, they don't value it much.
Exactly.
So then I said, okay, some amount. Now they're telling, sir, for online you are charging this much. I also got a comment from one of the YouTube boys. I said, like, then the others have responded, for this money, what you're getting from Vimal sir is like way too more. Then you gotta pay more. I said, like, just leave it. Anybody feels like joining, they'll join. Anybody not feeling worth it, they'll not join. That's all. So all the best, Orgach. I think only thing is sometimes I get to feel about Kiran all those good times. Sometimes I have all the photographs. I just grasping through. I don't know why life was so short for her. Why she was taken so early. Good souls leave early.
I think I spoke to her 20 days. I had spoken to her 20 days before that happened. I could not join a cremation also, and like for some reason, and as guilt sitting right in my neck, like all the time. Like that is.
She replaced me. We were together for 3 months there in Goa. So then thereafter only I got transferred to Arakonam. And I was on a holiday. That time Selva called me. He told like, sir, this thing has happened. I was like, don't joke, Selva. Why are you irritating me on a Sunday? Like I was sleeping. Like, sir, it's happened.
Megha called me at 11:45 or so, and I was sleeping and I was very tired that day. So and for a second I was like, what is she saying? What is she talking about? 10:30 landed. It is 12:45. I grasped the situation. That is something I could not face her parents for a very long time. I think after 8-9 months was the first time when I met her. It's very unfortunate. I don't know. They say you have to learn to grieve and like face the losses being in the armed forces. There's no choice with that. But I don't know. It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
It's no problem. We'll have to pull together. No issues. But how is life otherwise? All good?
All good.
Let's not take your husband's name. He's still in service. But how is his adventurous life going on?
Good. He's having a good time.
Okay, for everyone who is not aware, her husband is a Marco. now, I need a special session with him with the mask on, so he cannot show his only eyes. You tell him to give a session with me because a lot of aspirants they come to me only for either fighter pilot or Marco, nothing less.
Oh my God, really? Oh.
Aspirants, because that is what they feel at that age. They feel like either I have to fly a fighter jet or it is like I have no Marco.
Either you're going to kill in person.
इधर ऊपर से सूख करके निकल जाओ ये नहीं तो पचाक मारो उसको.
No, that is what you fancy being outside. No, even I fancied that only being outside. Oh, uniform, overalls, my God, lady officer, aviation pilot. Wow, this is so amazing. So yeah, everybody fancies that. That is, it's completely fine. I think we also, but even as you had like, I would have taken. So like looking back at it, I also feel like whatever we can tell other people and enlighten people in the right direction, if at all that helps. So it's always good.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. I think I've taken so much of your time on a weekend.
No, my pleasure.
Hope I'm able to give one more hour each time.
They should also agree. Your audience should also agree. They'll be like, chatting is happening.
They'll go have a break and come back.
All right. Thank you so much, Vimal, for having me.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
So much to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Okay.
Bye.
Chalo.